at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Finding your comfortable position, sitting on the chair or lying down on the mat. See if you can find a space to open up the front of the chest. This is making sure that the shoulders are relaxed, the front of the chest is lifted, the belly is able to expand in and out, so the diaphragm is able to descend and ascend to create a nice relaxed breath. And then same as usual, just noticing how the body feels and where the body is. So is the pressure even right and left to side? Do I feel I'm leaning more to one side than the other? Am I straight? Am I slightly wonky? So I'm not changing anything or trying to change anything. I'm just trying to see and notice where the body is and how it feels at the moment. And then as I feel a little bit more settled with the breath, as I feel a little bit more relaxed in this position, I'm just going to focus on the shoulders, so focusing on the shoulder girdle. I'm going to shrug the shoulders up to the head. So I'm going to pull the shoulders up to the ears, and then I'm going to press them down and away. I'm going to pull them up, and then I'm going to press them down. So elevating, depressing the shoulders, as if you can picture your shoulder blades like two little cars running up and down the back of the rib cage. So noticing if there is difference between the right and the left side. One side might be gliding a little bit better. One side might be feeling a little bit stiffer to move or a little bit stickier, heavier to move. Just focusing on the heavier side to see if I can try and ease some of the stiffness, some of that tension away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the shoulders down, the neck is long, the chest is lifted. I'm going to go into a little protraction, retraction. So I'm going to pull the shoulders forward, and then I'm going to push them back. I'm going to pull them forward, and then push them back. So this time, imagine the shoulder blades to be moving towards the center of the spine as you retract, and then towards the side of the rib cage as you protract. So I'm going to try and squeeze them together and then pull them apart. Squeeze them together and then pull them apart. 5, 4, 3, 2, last time, and releasing back. Hopefully shoulder girdle feels a little bit looser. I'm going to start opening up the movement into the back too. So raising the arms up to the front, I'm just going to start the rocking gently or swaying gently from one side to the other. So rotating to the right and then backing over to the left. So from side to side, from side to side. So see if I can get a nice easy rocking going, making sure that I'm not shrugging the shoulders up to the head, so there is no stiffening, there is no tensing into the neck. And then as I keep the rotation going, then I'm going to see if I can start adding a little bit of an arm pull. So as I rotate to the right, I'm going to hug my left arm across the front of the chest. So see if I can stretch a little bit deeper behind the left shoulder. Then coming back, rotating to the left, hugging the right arm a little bit closer to the chest to see if I can stretch deeper behind the right shoulder. And then I'm going to, again, rotate the other way, hug the arm close, come back, rotate the other way, hug the arm close, and then releasing back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back. Releasing the shoulders, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. It's a little bit more movement. I'm going to try and see if I can create it just a little bit more across the front of the chest. So this time I'm going to raise both arms up to the front. I'm going to keep the right nice and still, and with the left, I'm going to open out to the side. You see if I can open as much as possible. If I'm seated, taking advantage of the fact that there is nothing behind me, trying to push the arm back slightly, see if I can create a nice stretch across the front of the chest. If I'm lying down, just taking the arm as far out as possible, and try not to let it touch the floor. Then coming back to the middle, I'm going to hold the left, and then I'm going to open up the right. Then easing back, holding the right, and then opening up the left. Just to see if I can picture a nice stretch that goes from the front of the chest all the way down into the arm, making sure that there is no pain in the shoulder, playing with the position of the hand. What happens if I turn the palm up slightly? What happens if I turn the palm down slightly? Can I get a better stretch depending on the hand position? So see if I can really try to focus the stretch across the front, coming back and then swapping side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, releasing the shoulders, relaxing the arms just a little bit more, opening across the front of the chest. What I want is just a little bit more, but this time behind the shoulders. So imagine to be stretching under the armpit. I'm going to start going into a little arm swing. So with the right arm, I'm going to swing around the side and towards the head, see if I can reach as long as far as I can until I can feel a nice stretch coming up the side of the ribcage and into the back of the shoulder. Then I'm going to return the arm back, and then with the left, I'm going to do the same. So swing the arm around, bring it towards the head, see if I can create a nice lift, a nice stretch down the left side, coming back, and then I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. Playing with the position of the arm, playing with the angle at the shoulder, allowing the arm to come slightly forward if I feel that the shoulder is a bit pinchy, so it feels a bit tender, it feels a bit sore. And then making sure that no matter how small or big the movement is, I'm not causing pain in the shoulder joint. So swinging the right arm round and coming back, swinging the left arm and coming back. 6. So nice big wave with the right arm. Nice big wave with the left. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the arms, and giving the shoulders again a little bit of a roll, and then making sure that I've not created tension into the neck. With the right arm, I'm going to reach long down the side as if somebody was pulling the arm down. Maintaining the traction into the arm, I'm going to drop my left ear down to the left shoulder. So I'm going to try and pull the head away. So see if I can create a nice stretch that from the The side of the ear comes down the side of the neck over the top of the shoulder and into the arm. Holding that traction, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ease the stretch. I'm going to try again. Same arm, same side. I'm going to reach down with the right arm. I'm going to pull the head away. This time, see if you can extend the wrist. So pulling the back of the hand towards the forearm, creating a little bit more traction. And then just turning the hand out or in. See if by turning the hand, you can get a better stretch or a different stretch into the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the shoulder, relaxing the head. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So reaching down with the left arm and then pulling the right ear down with the right to the right shoulder. So see if I can pull the head away. So creating a nice stretch that goes from the ear down the side of the neck, over the top of the shoulder, into the arm. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing on the stretch. I'm going to try again. So reaching down with the arm, pulling the head away. I'm going to extend the wrist. This is trying to bring the back of the hand towards the forearm. And then turning the hand, turning the arm in or out. See if I can find a better or slightly different stretch. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back. Returning the head back to the middle, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Hopefully the neck feels a little bit looser, a little bit more relaxed. I'm going to focus a little bit more down into the hips or down into the legs. So I'm going to bend the knees and walk the feet up and towards the hips, shuffling the feet nice and close together. And then keeping the left leg nice and still, I'm going to start moving the right. I'm just going to go into a little knee drop. So I'm going to open the right knee out to the right, and then I'm going to bring it back to the center. I'm going to open it to the right, and then bring it back to the center. As you're keeping the little wave going with the leg this time, see if you can picture, see if you can feel that head of the femur, the top of the leg, moving into the hip socket. So opening and closing. And at the same time, as usual, it's not just moving out and then coming back. It's moving out and at the same time is rotating out. So I can feel the thigh bone turning out into the hip socket as it opens and then turning back in when it comes back. So I'm going to turn out and open and then turn in and pull back. Turn out as I open and then turning back in as I'm coming back. 6. The hips are nice and still, especially if I'm lying down on the back. I see if I can hold the pelvis steady, just the leg is moving. 5, 4, same as usual. If the leg is a bit stiff or a little bit temperamental, doesn't want to move, I might use the hand to help me push the leg out and then pull the leg back in again. 3, 2, last one, and releasing, relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to try the same thing, but on the left side. So same as I did on the Right, I'm just going to externally rotate. So think of your thigh turning out, rolling out, and opening out at the same time. Then I'm going to turn it back in and then roll it back in again. So see if I can focus on that slight external rotation as the leg opens, and then internal rotation as the leg closes back. Controlling the hips the same as I did on the other side, just making sure that the pelvis doesn't start rocking, doesn't start twisting to the left. Opening and closing that door. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. So a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to change the direction of it. What I want, it's a little bit more of a circular movement at this time. So same as usual, if I don't have a good control of the leg, I'm just going to use the band around the back of the leg, or use the hand around the leg. And then I'm just going to start massaging into the hip socket. So I'm just going to start drawing circles with that right thigh bone. So think of a massive pencil. Your thigh is like a massive pencil. The tip of the pencil is at the knee. I'm just going to try and draw circles with that pencil in front of me. So the leg, if I'm seated, can lift off the ground. The foot can stay on the ground. So the movement can be small or big. It's whatever feels more comfortable. If I'm laying down, see if you can think of the knee pointing up at the ceiling. So you're trying to draw that circle on the ceiling above the hips. So there is no pull on the back, there is no pressure on the back. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Then I'm going to reverse the circles, going around the other way. 10. 9. It doesn't matter if it's not a real circle. It doesn't matter if it's an oval. If it's a bit of a squarey movement, just to see if I can try and get in as many directions as possible. So really trying to work deep into the hip, loosening up the hip joint. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And release and relaxing the leg, releasing the hip. I'm going to try the same thing, but working with the other side, with the left side. So same as before, imagine a massive pencil. The tip of the pencil is where the knee cap is. I'm going to start drawing circles in front of me. So on the wall in front, if I'm seated, on the ceiling above, if I'm lying down on the back. And then same as you did on the other side, just notice the movement. So this leg might feel a bit heavier or much lighter, easier, harder to move. The movement might feel restricted, going in a certain direction. I'm just going to try and work my way around, making it as smooth, as relaxed as possible. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Then I'm going to reverse the circle, going around the other way. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the legs. So again, making sure that the hip, the leg is fully recovered. And then same as I did for the shoulders, what I want to make sure is that I've not created tension into the lower back. So if you're sitting down, if you're seated, I want to try and hug the knees to the chest. So I can't pull the legs towards me, so I'm just going to try and pull myself down and towards the legs to see if I can create a nice easy stretch down into the lower back and into the back of the hips. If I'm lying down, I'm going to pick up both feet and then pulling the legs into the chest to see if I can create a nice stretch down the lower back and the back of the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it back. Relaxing the legs and releasing the hips. If you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto the side, setting yourself into opening and closing doors. So we're going to go back into the shoulders, but this time trying to get deeper into the spine as well. So rolling over onto the side, I'm going to bend the knees are directly in front of the hips, so the shins nice and level to the front of the mat. The bottom arm, I'm going to reach it forward so that the pressure is at the back of the shoulder, and then the head, I can either put it down on the floor, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel in line, then I'm just going to put something under the head, a pillow, a blocker to raise the head up slightly. And then from there, keeping the legs together, keeping the knees to the ground, I'm going to start opening the door. So raising the top arm up and towards the ceiling, I'm going to turn the rib cage open nice and wide through the chest, and then I'm going to return back. So taking advantage of the fact that now you've got space behind you, see if you can get the stretch across the front of the chest and also the nice rotation into the upper back. If I'm seated, I'm going to focus on the same side, focus on the right side. I'm going to open the right arm out to the side, and then I'm going to turn to follow the arm around. So see how far around I can take the arm, and then I'm just going to swing it back. Then again, I'm going to open the right arm out to the right, turning, following the arm around, and then I'm just going to ease it back. 3. So first a few movements are always the stiffer ones, and then progressively should become a little bit easier. I might even be able to go a little bit further into the turning, further into the rotation. Just making sure that I'm not forcing the movement, I'm not twisting the shoulder. So always focusing on the arm that is moving behind you, that is reaching behind. And I make sure that the shoulder is in a good position. So I feel that the chest is opening, the shoulder is not suddenly strapped to my face, it's strapped to my chin. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1, and releasing back. Relaxing the arm, giving the shoulder a little bit of a roll, releasing the shoulder, releasing the upper back. If you're lying on the side, staying on the side. If you're seated, you need the band. So if I'm lying on the side, I'm going to go into clamp. So the weight of the leg in itself is plenty heavy enough to create that movement. If I'm seated, because I'm not working against the gravity, I need something to create a little bit more challenge. So I'm just going to wrap the band around the knees, tiny little knot or a little bow to make sure that the band can easily come undone. And then keeping the left leg nice and still, I'm going to start pushing out with the right leg into the band. And then I'm going to ease my way back. Using the arm to help me if I need to. I'm trying to move just the right leg out to the side, so stretching the band a little bit wider. If I'm lying down, I'm just going to focus on the top leg. I'm going to keep the feet together and then start opening the top leg up and then closing it back down again. So same as you did when you were lying on the back, or same as you did when you were sitting up. Think of the thigh bone turning out into the hip socket and lifting away at the same time. And then turning in and then coming back down again. So turning out into the hip socket and lifting, and then turning in and coming back down. Keeping the belly nice and strong, so making sure that the back is not stiffening, I'm not arching, I'm not tensing through. 4, 5, holding the hips steady, making sure that I'm not rocking back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then last one, 10, and releasing back, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, or releasing the leg, releasing the side of the hip, side of the bum. If I'm lying down, I'm going to stay on the side. This time I'm going to try and focus on the inner thigh. So the top leg, I'm just going to let it slip forward and then drop down onto the mat. The bottom leg, I'm going to extend it away. And then from this position, what I want this time is not for the top leg to move, but the bottom leg to lift away and then come down again. So it's the inside of the leg that is on the floor that is creating that lifting and the lowering. If I'm seated, I'm going to reverse my effort. So instead of using the band, I'm going to use the ball. So I'm going to set the ball between the inner thighs, and then with the right leg, I'm going to try and press into the ball as hard as I can, and then I'm going to release. So I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can and release. So same as everybody else is doing on the side, trying to get the inner thigh to work to create that little tension, to create that little movement, that little squeeze. 4, 5. If you're down on the side, see if you can think of keeping the leg as straight as possible when it's lifting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and relax. So relaxing the leg, giving the inner thigh maybe a little tap, a little rub, releasing into the hip. And then I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing to the other side. So if you're lying on the side, I want you to turn the other way, or switching yourself around, whichever it's easier. Starting back from the opening and closing doors. So the knees are bent, the bottom arm is reaching straight forward, so you're resting on the back of the shoulder, the head on the floor, or supported with a little pillow with a little block. I'm going to reach up with the top arm, left arm if I'm seated, and then I'm going to start opening. I'm going to turn and reach as far around as I can, and then I'm going to swing back and return. Then again, I'm going to turn, open up as wide as I can, and then ease in my way back and return. So same as you did on the other side. See if you can think of opening up through the chest, so turning the rib cage to face towards the ceiling if you're lying down, to face it towards the side of the room if you're seated, and then coming back to the center again. Notice the position of the shoulder, making sure that it doesn't feel as if the shoulder is ending up into an awkward position. So see if I can keep the shoulder down, the chest lifted as I'm turning and opening to the side, and then coming back in again. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulder, releasing the back, and then I'm going to focus on the legs. So starting off on the clamp, so the top leg, I'm going to press the feet together and then start opening the top leg, closing it back, and then opening again. If I'm seated, I'm going to reset the band around the legs, around the knees. And then this time I'll be working on the left leg. So see if I can pull out with the left and control my way back. 2, 3, hips are nice and steady, making sure that especially if I'm lying down, the hips are not rolling backwards. 4, 5, 6, 7. So focusing on the side of the hip, focusing on the side of the bum working. 8, 9, 10, and releasing, giving the hip a little tap, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, and then I'm going to focus on the inner thigh. So if I'm seated, I'm going to switch, and then I'm going to put the ball between the knees. So same as before, I'm going to squeeze with the left leg in, pressing into the ball, and then I'm just going to release that pressure. If I'm lying down, I'm going to let the top knee slide down onto the mat, straightening out the bottom leg, and then I'm going to try and pull the bottom leg up and then easing it back down. So see if I can focus on the tension on the inside of the leg, on the inner thigh. 2, 3, noticing any tension anywhere else into the body. Am I clenching my teeth? Am I stiffening through the jaw? Am I stiffening through the neck? Am I shrugging my shoulders? Am I gripping with the arms? Can I relax the arm? Can I focus the tension just on the inside of the leg? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing back, relaxing the inner thigh, giving the leg a little bit of a rub, giving the leg a little bit of a shake. So it's a little bit more connection to the inside of the leg too. I'm going to try and see if I can work a little bit more through the arms and into the back. So if you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto your front. And then tucking the arms in so that the arms are in a good position to support me. I'm just going to push down through the forearms and the palm of the hands, and then depressing the shoulders, the same as we did at the beginning, pressing the shoulders down and away from the head. I'm going to try and extend through the upper back only. So what I want is for the bottom of the rib cage, for the ribs to stay on the mat, but the chest to try and lift away. And then I'm just going to ease my way down. So I'm going to try and extend and come back. If I'm seated, I'm going to set the arms in a comfortable position. And then again, focusing on the thoracic spine, focusing on the upper back. I'm going to push the breastbone forward, the shoulders in. See if I can encourage a little lift at the top of the chest. And then I'm just going to relax the back. So I'm going to push the breastbone forward, extend my way up, and then I'm going to release back. So mobilizing through the thoracic spine. See if I can create a nice lift at the top of the chest, and then I'm just going to relax the back down. If I feel comfortable enough with the movement and I feel that I can progress it, then I'm going to start going a little bit more. So on the next one, I'm going to extend first. So I'm going to push the breastbone forward. I'm going to extend up, and then I'm going to turn around to look around one shoulder. Then I'm going to release, come back, and then I'm going to extend up, and then this time I'm going to turn to look around the other shoulder. And then coming back. The tendency, if the thoracic is stiff, is instead of looking around the back of the shoulder, is looking around the side of the shoulder. See if you can think of a nice lift, and then as I turn, I want to be able to see the very back of my shoulder, not the front, not underneath, not the side, but the very back of it. So think of lengthening, so I'm stretching out, I'm reaching myself out as much as I can, and then trying to look around one way, look around the other. Also compare the right and the left to turn. As you will notice that when you go to look around one shoulder, it feels a lot easier than when you turn to look around the other side. So always focusing on the stiffer side, see if I can create a better movement in that direction. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Belly still supporting me from underneath. Last time. And releasing back. Giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll, making sure that the upper back doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel too tight. And then I'm going to go into a little bit of releases. So rolling over onto your back if you're lying down on the belly. I'm going to get into a little bridge. So pushing down through the soles of the feet, squeezing the hips up. We'll see if I can get the full hip extension, rolling up onto the back of the shoulder or as close to the point as possible. And then I'm just going to roll on my way down. So imagine it possible to be releasing one vertebra down at the time until the hips touch the ground. And then I'm going to squeeze my way back up again. So I'm going to drive my way up into the lift. And then I'm just going to try and roll on my way down bit by bit at the time. If I'm seated, I'm trying to get into a little pelvic tilt. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis back. So I'm going to round the lower back. And then reverse and see if I can try and extend and lift. So I'm going to try and round into the lumbar, slouching forward, slouching down. And then I'm going to try and extend as if somebody has picked me up from underneath the armpit, underneath the shoulders, and then was trying to lift me off the chair. And then I'm just going to let myself relax back into the chair again. And then I'm going to try again, pick myself up and off the chair. And then let myself relax back down onto the chair. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And release it back, giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the side, and in your own time, pushing yourself all the way up into sitting. Finding your comfortable seated position, finding the seat bends to see if I can plant the seat bends down onto the floor, down onto the chair. Using the arms at the back to offer a little support, or if I'm close to a sofa, close to a wall, I might just lean against the sofa, I might lean against the wall, just making sure that it doesn't move. And then once that I feel that I've got a good support there, then focusing on the front of the body, I'm going to try and create as much length as possible at the front. So I'm going to push the chest forward, throw the shoulders back. I'm going to lift up, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then I'm going to release and come forward, tucking the chin in, rounding the shoulders, rounding the upper back, rounding the lower back if you want to go that far. And then back up in reverse. Restacking everything back on top of the hips, pushing the chest forward, throwing the shoulders back, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then release and coming forward, tucking the chin, rounding the shoulders, rounding the upper back and the lower back if I can. Last time. Extending up, shoulders back, the chest forward, lifting up as high as you can, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And release and coming forward. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a tap on that. Any question or anything as usual, please